Good morning. How we doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going to have some fun today, guys. We are going to have some fun today. Good morning, Amy. How we doing? Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. It is rope day, guys. We're going to have some fun with some rope today. Good morning. Good morning. How's y'all's week been? Hopefully it's been good. We're going to let a few people join in here before we get started, so we can say happy Friday to everybody. Good morning, Miss Lisa. Good morning, Jenny. How's your morning, Lise? It's Friday morning. It is Friday morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy coffee. Let's get a few more drinks of that coffee this morning before we get started. I've been prepping this morning. Today is rope day. We're going to have some fun with some pink rope today. So, I was trying to contemplate on, got up at 1:30. Oh, my gosh. Good morning. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the roses. You guys are sweet. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, how do you pronounce your name, Miss Bear? I'm assuming, is it Leia? Is that correct? I see your name on there. I was like, I'm thinking it's Leia. Is that correct? It's a cool spelling. Very cool spelling. Good morning, Jennifer. Leah. Leah. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I know I seen you on here, and I was like, I keep meaning to ask you, and I'm like, I gotta ask you. I hate pronouncing names wrong. I'm not the best at it, so, but good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning. I want to let a few of y'all join before we get started. I was doing some prep this morning. Like I said, we're going to use some pink rope this morning because today's Friday. Today's Friday. We're having fun with some rope. So I got some pink rope that we're going to be using. Y'all, I already prepped. I already made the rope, the fabric rope that we're going to be joining with the regular rope. So, but I'm going to show you guys how to do that. I'm going to show you guys how to do this, though. I want you guys to know how to, I have a really quick way, you know, when you got to join strips together. And, you know, you sew one strip, you cut it, you go to the next one, you sew the next strip. You know, that way you got your long line of strip. Good morning, Jen. You get that long line of strip there, you know. But I'm going to show you guys a quick way to sew those strips together, and it works out really well. And it's a quick way to sew those. So, and then I'm going to show you guys how to make the fun rope, the fun fabric rope. And this is, good morning, Maddie. And this is a quick way to make the fabric rope. Pretty easy, but like I said, I wanted to let a few of you guys join this morning before we get started. Hopefully everybody's had a great week. Good morning, Bianca. How are you this morning? Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday to everybody. Happy Friday. We've had a fun week this week. We have had a fun week. We have learned how to quilt. We first started out, Monday we did rope day because last Friday I wasn't feeling too well. So I know y'all enjoy rope day, so I moved it on into Monday. I am good. I'm good. So Tuesday we quilted a quilt. That was fun. That was fun. Yes. Wasn't that fun? And then we went and did, I showed you guys how you can quilt with a 4-inch hoop. Isn't that crazy how you can quilt with a 4-inch hoop? We'll probably do that one again. That way, just in case anybody missed that one, we'll go through those steps again, and that way you guys can see how to quilt with all the way from a 4-inch hoop, and we'll go all the way up to the big ones. So we'll go over that again. I'm thinking we'll do that again next Wednesday. So I'm thinking next Wednesday we will do that one. Monday we already have in line. We are going, I don't know if you guys have seen them, the bowl covers. For like your casserole dish or whatever, you have those bowl covers. And so I'm thinking Monday you're gonna have to have a 1/4-inch elastic for this. So and so I'm thinking we'll learn how to make those on Monday. Good morning now, ma'am. I am on at 4:30 in the morning. It's 4:30 here in Arizona. 4:30 here in Arizona. So So I'm thinking, so we got a few of you guys in here, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to tell you what we're guys going to do. So we're going to make placemats, y'all. We're going to make a placemat, but we're going to make it out of rope. We're going to make it out of this rope, and then we're going to make it out of fabric rope. But I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all how to make this fabric rope. The fabric rope is a lot of fun. You can do all kinds of different things with it. Good morning, Miss Cynthia. So first thing I want to do is I want to show you guys, because you have your strips and you're like, okay, well, I got to get all these strips sewed together. This is going to take me forever. No, it's not. Let me show you guys exactly how to sew these strips together, and it's a quick way. It is a really quick way to get them sewed together. So what we'll do is we'll first start with that. And then once we do that, I will show you how to add the batting. And y'all, you can get 3 rolls of this 2.5 inch jelly roll rug batting off of Amazon. Fairly cheap. You get 3 rolls and it works just fine. So, I mean, it's not 100% cotton, but yeah, it's inside of it. It's fine. It's not like you're putting it in the microwave or anything like that. So I think it works out really well. I've never had an issue with it. So I ended up getting quite a bit of it, but lots of fun. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to quickly sew strips together. Like I said, I've already prepped it. We won't go through the whole process of this, but I want you guys to see how to do this. So we're going to come over here to the sewing machine, So I use a Brother Luminaire. You can sew this on anything. Doesn't matter. Let's flip this camera. So we have a Brother Luminaire. I'm just using a straight stitch on here. So let me flip this around, flip this camera around. And I'm going to show you guys. I got some bobbin out, try to find some coordinating colors. I do get pre-wound bobbins. I like pre-wound bobbins. And then we're going to use this color because it kind of coordinates with that pink fabric. So I'm going to show you guys what, like I said, we're doing rope today. So we are doing it's macrame rope that we're going to be using, and then we're going to be using some fabric rope. So all rope today. So let me get this in here. And so first off, I want to show you guys how to sew strips together quickly. I know we do, there's a lot of different projects that we do, and a lot of those projects you have strips that you end up oops, hit the wrong button there. Oops. Da-doom. Try this again. Good morning, Renee. How are you? Good morning, Miss Debbie. Good morning. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is you have strips. You have these strips. So let's sew 2 of them together first. So we're going to just take and sandwich 2 right sides together. So we're going to sew these ones together. But you're going to stop there. Don't cut those. You don't want to cut those. This is where sewing your strips together becomes quick. So you just have a line of strips. So you bring this strip over here like this. You want to make sure, and you grab your next strip, you want to make sure that if it's directional fabric, you want to make sure it's going the right direction. And then you plop this on here and you sew that next strip. Then you go to the next one. This is already here. Flip this over, grab your next strip. This is the quickest way to sew these strips together. You don't have to cut it or anything, and these all just get, keep going. And then your strip's already there waiting on you to pull it back, so you just pull it back and clip this one on there. Grab the next one, flip this over, grab that one. Like I said, make sure on the directions that if it's a directional fabric, you have the directions going the correct way on there. So that's how. What's your seam allowance on these? 1/4 inch. I use a 1/4 inch seam allowance on these. So, good morning, Miss Amy. We are making a placemat out of rope. So, thank you for the heart me. I like the heart me's. The heart me's are sweet. Thank you very much, Monica. So we are making a placemat today. So, but I wanted to show you guys. How to sew strips together fairly quickly. So, So we'll go over that process just a couple more times here, and then we will move on into the, good morning. Thank you guys. We will move on into sewing the batting into these strips. That way you make your fabric rope. So like I said, we're going to be using the macrame rope in the middle. We'll make the macrame rope in the middle, and then we'll extend out from that rope and go out with the fabric rope. And then we're going to make it big enough for a placemat. So I figured a placemat, and it's got kind of a Halloween theme. So, you know, it's getting close to October, and I found this fabric when I was going through stuff yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? Why not? Let's have some fun. And it's pink. I love pink. Who doesn't love pink? So, I'm going to show you guys again how I am making a round one. I'm making round. We are going to do round today. We might have time to do a round and an oval. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much time we got. Like I said, I've already prepped, but I wanted to show you, make sure that you guys know how I did this process. So, like I said, let me show you again how to sew these strips together fairly quickly. It's really nice once you start doing this. You're just like, oh my gosh, why haven't I been doing this before? You know, you're like, are you crazy? No. What's wrong with me? So, but anyways. I like to share, so let's share. So let me go back here again. Like I said, you have your strips. Got to make sure on the direction. So let's just say, I mean, even if this is like your first strips that you're sewing together, you sew that one together. You don't cut it off there. You just grab that strip, the other end of that strip that you just sewed. Thank you for the follow. That other end of that strip that you just sewed, you take that strip and you just fold it over right side up. You fold that one over right side up. You grab your next strip that's in line and you lay that one right there on top. And then you sew that one down the line. So, and this is when you're sewing all these strips together. And I thought of a pattern this morning when I was doing this, and I'm going to show you guys probably next week so you can have fun. So you take that strip you just sewed, you take the other end, fold it over on top of your machine right there, and then you line this one up and sew your next strip up. So, isn't this the easiest way to sew strips together? Fold that over, grab that next strip, put that one down, sew that one across. So this is how you sew the strips together. So we'll go ahead and sew. There's not too many of them here. We'll go ahead and sew all these together. I'll show you how to do all these, and then we will move on into the batting. Just remember, if you have directional fabric, you make sure and flip it over, make sure it's on going the same direction on there. If you don't have directional fabric, just throw it on there, put right sides together, sew it down there, stop there, and then flip over the end of that strip that you just sewed. Just flip over the end of that strip you just sewed. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate that, guys. We'll throw this one on there. We just got a few more of them on. We got sewed on here, and then I will show you guys how we add the batting into these strips here, guys. Hope all y'all's week's been good. This week hasn't been too crazy, but I'm glad it's Friday. Friday, Lisa. Friday. But we got a flash goal. Let's see what our flash goal is this morning, guys. Start our flash goal. We need some heart me's, guys. We need some heart me's. Can we send some heart me's out this morning? All right. So you fold this one over, and don't forget you have that directional fabric. You have that directional fabric there. Make sure the directions on that fabric is going the same way. Unless your project doesn't matter. Unless your project doesn't matter. So thank you for the heart me's, guys. Thank you, thank you. So we go there. Like I said, we're gonna sew. We got just a couple more strips here. We'll get these sewed together, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to add that batting in the middle of there, guys. How to add the batting. Just a couple more here. I know when I figured this out, I was sitting there sewing them together one day, and I'm like, you know what? What if I did this? What if I just took that strip, fold it over, grab your next strip. Good morning. Good morning from Jamaica. How cool is that? Oh my gosh. You are my first one from Jamaica. Thank you for joining. That is so awesome. Awesome, awesome. Welcome, welcome. I am here in Arizona. Here in Arizona, ma'am. So we are sewing strips together. We are making a placemat this morning out of rope. So we have different types of rope that we're using here. And I'm showing you guys how to quickly sew those strips together. We got 4 more strips to sew on here, guys. 4 more strips to sew on here. Like I said, you take your strips, you sew them together like here. You go across here. And then you take that strip that you just sewed and you fold it over right side up. And then you grab your next strip. Grab that next strip. We got 3 more here. And then flip it over right sides together and sew that next strip together there. And then you end up sewing those strips together very quickly there, guys. Very quickly. So 2 more strips. Fold that strip over. Fold that strip, the other end of the strip that you just did. Put your next strip there. So we're doing a Halloween theme because it's almost October. So I decided we were going to have a fun Halloween placemat day today. So you grab that one right there. That one kind of creeps me out. And grab that last strip here, guys. Last strip. And then we'll cut that. All right. So we got all the strips sewed together. So now that we have all the strips sewed together, we'll just take and cut what we just sewed. So you're just cutting right there where, because you have those right there where you're just sewed, and we're gonna have a really long strip here, guys. A really, really long strip. But that didn't take too long, did it? We sewed them together fairly quickly there. Thank you guys for all the gifts. You guys are awesome. And oh my gosh, those smileys, Amy's, those are awesome. Those are awesome. Awesome, awesome. So we get these all cut up here, guys. And then I'm going to show you how to add that batting. We will not do all the batting because that one takes just a little bit. I got up early this morning and went ahead and pre-prepped. Thank you for the follows. Pre-prepped all the strip of these, so that way we can get the project made. But I want you guys to make sure that you guys know how to do this, though. So, and if you have questions, please ask. Please ask. Always willing to answer questions. And if I've missed a question, holler at me. Say, hey, Carrie, you missed a question. You missed a question. So yeah. So now, look, we just sewed all this together in less than 10 minutes, y'all. Isn't that the quickest thing? I mean, it just keeps going here. It just keeps going. So now what we're going to do is, I have this handy dandy tool. Where'd my end of the... There it is. So I have this handy dandy tool. All right, Miss Lisa, you have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. So I have this handy dandy tool. There is another part to the tool, but I only use the big part. I think they're like $4 or something on Amazon. I can't exactly remember, but I only use this one big part because the other one, you don't need it. Just my personal opinion. Everybody uses it a little differently. Everybody uses it a little differently. So then I take this roll of batting, like I said, you can get these fairly cheap on Amazon. You get 3 of them in your order. So you lay that on the floor. So what you do is you line up. So you're gonna line up your batting in the middle of this. So the batting's actually 2 inches, and then your strips are 2.5 inches. So you line this up in the middle here, like this. Some packs, oh, very cool, very cool. Very cool. So we line up the 2.5 inch strip, and then you line that strip up in there, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold it. You're gonna just fold 1/2 one way, 1/2 the other way. So I'll show you here. So you're folding it, more or less folding it to the center there. You're gonna fold it to the center here. Don't ask you how you know. It is, so it is. So, you know how you have the center of those Jelly Roll rugs, and it's, thank you for the follows, guys. It is hard to get the centers of those done. I gave up on it, guys, because every time I tried to make one, it was like it ended up off-centered, and then your rug wasn't exactly circle. I don't do rugs, but I do have fun with the Jelly Roll rugs, the strips, because you can make so many different things with this. So as you're fixing to see, because I implement, I implement the fabric rope, because do you call it fabric rope? I implement that fabric rope into making regular rope too. We are making a placemat this morning, ma'am. We are making a placemat this morning. So I showed you guys how to do those strips. Sewing strips together just like that. That was quick, right? That was fairly quick. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to sew the Jelly Roll rope. So, or fabric rope. We'll call it fabric rope because we're not making a rug. So we're gonna take 2.5 inch strip batting, and then you fold both sides to the center there. We fold both sides to the center. I always use my leg. My leg is my table. So then you're going to take this handy dandy tool. Like I said, this is the only piece I use. This is the only piece I use. So then you're going to take this with it folded like this. So you fold both sides into the center. Both sides of that into the center. I promise you guys this is easy. I promise. So we're going to push this through. So you pull it through. And I want to show you something. This is why you only need the big one. See how you only need this big one, guys? It literally folds it for you. But what we're going to do is we're going to do both steps, all of them all in one. Good morning, Miss Jackie. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for hanging out with me last night, Miss Jackie. That was lots of fun watching you do the cups. That was lots of fun. So we're taking this strip. And like I said, you only need the big piece here. And we're going to take and we're going to fold it in half. We're going to go ahead and fold it in half. We are doing all steps in one. I promise you it gets easy. I promise you it gets easy. So we're going to take that. We're going to go ahead and do this clip right here just for a minute. And then what we're going to, about to head to bed. Oh my gosh, were you on live all night, Miss Jackie? That is crazy. Did you have a good live? Very cool. Y'all, Miss Jackie is my daughter-in-law. She does pink zebra. So if you ever need pink zebra, go find Miss Jackie. She does... Wait, oh. You guys were watching your show, weren't you? She does pink zebra. Lots of fun. If nothing else, she's fun to watch. So giving my daughter-in-law a shout out. She's pretty awesome. So. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and sew. We're going to start sewing here. And I'm going to show you guys. Gonna be tight. Yeah, right. So give my son a hug from me too, please. All right. So what we're going to do. So we're going to take, and you want to put this, we're just going to do a straight stitch, and you want to center your foot. You're going to center your foot right on here. So we're going to put this down, put the needle down. So you see how this is just centered here? Because you're going to sew right down the middle of it. You want to have an opening on the one side. I know it sounds weird, but you want to have an opening on that one side. So what you do is you pull this down here. So I'm going to show you here. See if I can get you. let's see. So you're going to pull this back here. You're going to take a clip. This is where you go. So you have a clip here because you're going to hold this tight as it's sewing across, and then you come across the rest of this here and just kind of get it folded in there. See how it's all folded now? And now you're just going to take and sew all that, and then when it gets to the clip you stop and then you move down. So let's go ahead and get going on here. So like I said, you're gonna hit start here. Like I said, I don't use a presser foot, so if you have the option not to use a presser foot, it makes it easy. So like I said, you kind of center that foot right on this fabric. Just center the foot right on this fabric, and you're gonna see we're gonna get to that clip, and then once we get to that clip, that's where we're gonna stop. So we're stopping right there at that clip, and then we're gonna come back here, center that batting right in there, and you're gonna pull this down, fold this over, grab that clip where you just stopped, and move it down to this side. So you moved it down, moved it down right here. So now what we're going to do is you're going to fold, and like I said, if you hold it tight, just kind of fold it in. So now you have it folded, and now, like I said, you have that centered right there in the middle of that strip. It's just centered right there in the middle of that strip there. And you sew till you get to that clip, and then you move down. So here comes that clip. You just stop at that clip, and then you take this. So this right here, this is where this little tool comes into play. It kind of folds that. See how it's folding? It's folding that fabric for you. And then all you're doing is, when you get to the end here, when you get to the end, you're going to take and fold it up like this, grab that clip, move it down here, and then fold up. And then you'll fold up all the way here. Like I said, if you hold it tight, just let that feed dog pull it. Just let that feed dog pull it across. What size is the bias? So the bias, this thing is, so this one actually, if you Google jelly roll tool, because it's for a 2.5 inch strip, because you could actually use one of those other, well, I don't know if you could use one of the other ones, because I'm not sure the batting would go through those. Because you have the ones to make your, what do you call it? Bias tape. But this one is actually a jelly roll tool. If you Google jelly roll tool, you'll find it. Just look for the green one. You are welcome. I got it on Amazon. It was like $4. It wasn't that much, so it wasn't that much. Like I said, there's another piece to the tool, but I only use just the big piece. I just use that big piece there. So they said you just kind of let it just pull, hold it tight there. Oops. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of keep it centered. Sew to that clip there. Once you get to the clip, just stop, and then you just, and then you take and you just, and watch. I'm going to show you. So you see how this is? You see how it's folding? It folds that fabric all the way in for you. So it's kind of cool how that works. So we're going to sew it one more time here, and then we're going to move on and do the placemat, guys, because this will take a little bit to get this sewed. I mean, it sews up fairly quickly. Like I said, I already did one this morning. That way I'd be prepared for you guys. So are you guys good for me to move to the next step? I just wanted to make sure you guys could do all steps here, guys. I want you to be able to make all the steps. All right, we'll move to the next step. Let me sew this one up right quick. We will cut this off here, and I'll sew this up a little bit later, because I will do all kinds of stuff with this. We can make, what do you call them? Mug rugs with them, you know, coasters, all kinds of stuff. We'll make all kinds of stuff with this. So we got a whole month of October to use up this stuff. So what we'll do is I'll get this sewed up here, and then we'll stop it, and then I will grab the rope and we will start. So we're going to be using macrame rope. So I'm going to stop that. Like I said, we'll continue on this one. So we'll continue on this one. So, but look, we already sewed all this morning. So, and you'll see, so you have that, and you have the opening. You want to have that opening. You want to have that opening there, because the opening is where you're going to be going over the other side. So, okay. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the follows, guys. You guys are awesome. Okay. So let me move this, because I'll finish sewing that here in a little bit. So we're gonna move to, I need a drink of coffee. Get a drink of coffee, guys. All right, so see, I already have a whole thing of it all sewed up and ready for us today. It is all sewed up and ready for us today. So first thing though, this is macrame rope. You can use any kind of rope. There is all kind, yeah, coffee break, right? We need that coffee break. So thank you for the shares. So what we're gonna do now, so like I said, this is macrame. I have clothesline rope I've used. I've used the rope that you make the bracelets with. It's endless, the things that you can use. Stay away from those polyester plastic ones, because I have a feeling they would end up breaking needles. But as long as they're cotton, the majority of your cotton ones are good. So thank you all for the follows. I appreciate it. So what we're going to do now, so we're going to make a placemat. On that placemat, the center is going to be with the pink rope. The center is going to be with the pink rope. I've got pink thread in there. But I'm going to show you guys. There is a certain stitch. There's a certain stitch that I use when doing rope projects. Kind of the same stitch. I don't know if y'all saw me do binding yesterday. Same stitch. Same exact. It's a wondrous stitch. It's a wondrous stitch, guys. So let me, is that a word? I hope that's a word. So I am on a Brother Luminaire too, but I have a Husqvarna. It has the exact same stitch. So check the stitches out on your machine, because I have a feeling you probably have this stitch or something close to it. So we're going to go over here. That 3-18. 3-18 is the one that I'm using. The trick is though, guys, you want to increase the width of that stitch. So that's where you see that you have the one that it'll sew down that center, but as it's sewing down the center, but it's also going to go grab the fabric on both sides of it. So you're going to center that stitch right there where you're going to go grab both sides of that stitch. So it works out really well, as you'll see. So what we'll do is we'll start with the rope. I've loaded some pink thread, kind of matches. So, and then we got some close to coordinating bobbin there. So let me flip this camera around, and we will get in here and we will start making the center of this. So like I said, on the center of it, I'm going to show you guys here. On the center of it, so you're going to take your rope, and you're going to take and kind of, and this is if you're doing a circle. This is if you're doing a circle one. So we'll see if we can do a circle one, and if we have time, depending on how much time we have, we may go ahead and do an oblong one, oval, probably oval. I kind of trying to figure out those. Thanks for the follows. So you take this and you kind of circle it around. You're going to make a circle here, y'all. You're going to make a circle. Let me see if we can get it going here. I want to sing. Moni, Moni. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to start singing. So you want to make it kind of as big as you can. So you have this little circle you got going here. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go to your sewing machine, and you're going you're going to sew across here, across here, across it. You want to get as much stitches on here. And this is why you like the coordinating colors, because the coordinating colors just kind of sit with there. There's a trick though. You want to make sure that you have it going this way. Why do you want it going this way? Because that feed dog's going to be pulling it. And as it's pulling it, when you're turning, it's going to pull it this way. You're going to have it pulling this way. If you have it going the other way and it's pulling this way, it's not going to wrap up that rope on there. So you want to make sure that when you are putting it in the machine, that you have it going the right way. That way when you actually get it going and get it going in circles, when that feed dog pulls, it's going to actually pull it that way. That way it's pulling to there. So let's go ahead and put this in there and we will see how that goes. So like I said, you want to get it in there. I have it packaged. I'm taking it to the post office this morning. I got it made yesterday for you. So did you see the live yesterday? You are very welcome, ma'am. It turned out really cute. Okay. I'll have to show you a picture of it. It turned out really cute. I'll see if I can message you a picture. I don't know if I can message you a picture on here or not, so, but I'll try. I will try for you. So if not, I'll post the video. So, all right, this one's there. So I need to pull it just a little bit tighter because we got a hole right in the middle of it. So you want to try and get it as tight as you can so you don't have, because I think what I'll do is I'll post a video of everything we've done this week, y'all. We've had some fun this week. It's been a fun week. It's been a fun week, and I've already got projects for next week on plate. So, all right. So, like I said, make that circle, turn it around, and as a reminder, make sure that it's turning this way. That way it's pulling with the feed dog. You want to pull that way. So, just as a reminder, I've made that mistake before. That's why I kind of want to let you guys know that. So, we're going to go here. We're going to come here, and like I said, you're going to stitch across. You just want to get it stitched together. Try not to stitch your finger. Stitch across there. Kind of turn. Once you just stitch across here just a few times, then you can start turning with it. So, and once it gets so big, you just let the feed dogs pull it. You just let the feed dogs pull it there. Okay, so we're gonna let it start turning. And you see how this rope is pulling this way? This is why you want to make sure that you have it set that way. And here, let me take it off and I'm gonna show you guys. So you see how it's gonna start pulling that way? It'll start pulling that way. If we had it this way, it wouldn't work out very well. So just make sure that when you're pulling it, it goes that way. So we're going to put this back in here. And we're going to get it going here. Like I said, you just hold your fingers over here. And as you hold your fingers over here, you just get and let it pull. You see how it's just pulling it? And it'll actually just make that circle for you. You don't want to push or pull on it. You just let it pull itself. Just let it pull itself. What's your question? What size is your... It is a... Does it have the size on it? It's like 1/4 inch. It's like just a 1/4 inch rope. It's pretty small. It's a pretty small rope. If you go on, I got it on Amazon. If you Google, I get all kinds of stuff on Amazon. My husband for a while called me the Amazon Queen, which is bad, I know, but anyway, so we are going to go, and I'm thinking we will get up to, we'll see how big we get here. We'll let it get so big, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add that fabric to the side of this. And we will end up with a circle placemat, y'all. Isn't it cool? Like I said, I mean, I'll just hold my finger like that, and look, it just pulls it around. It literally just pulls it right around there, guys. pulls it, pulls it. So we just keep going around, and we're going to be getting probably, I don't know, we'll see maybe 4 or 5 inches. We'll see how big this gets. We'll let it get a little bit big, and then we will grab our coordinating fabric rope that we just made. I showed you guys how to make that fabric rope. And we will get this going. And the stitching on there is looking really cool. This is fun if you do, you can have fun with variegated thread on here. Yeah, it's dangerous, right, Bianca? It can be very dangerous. But if you use a variegated thread on here, it looks really cool. I have a glow-in-the-dark thread, y'all. We may have to try a glow-in-the-dark thread and see what it works out like. See what fun we can have on that. Thank you for the follows, guys. Thank you for the follows. Like I said, so we're gonna go around this. Let me speed this up just a little bit. So we're gonna go around, and we're gonna get probably, I don't know, a few more laps around here, a few more rounds around here, and then we will move on to the fabric rope. Once you add that fabric rope, you'll be able to see what happens there. And it's kind of cool how you can do 2 different ones in the same thing. So we're going to keep going, trying to decide how big to go on this one. I'm liking the pink. The pink is very pretty. Hold on. Works texting me. Hold on one moment, please. Hold it, please. Sure, add it to the calendar, please. Somebody calling out sick. Okay. So we'll add this. Okay. I'm thinking that one's big enough there. I think that's big enough. So we're going to stop there. We're going to cut that off there. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you here. So we're going to actually cut that. We're going to just cut that off there. So we've made this. How cool is that? Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty how these stitch together? They just stitch together so well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add, trying to see what side. That's what you do. So this is, thank you. Good morning, Miss Abby, my friend from Colorado. She is so awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off. So which way we want to go? So we're going to cut it off this way. That way it kind of lines up. You finally joined us, Miss Abby. So we're going to take this and we're going to add this to this. So you just kind of take the strips. You see where you have the opening there? You're just going to put that opening right around that rope. Right around that rope there. This is where that stitch really comes into play. This is where that stitch really comes into play. So now what we're going to do, and again, make sure that you have the rope go. Oh, I'm sitting there saying it. What cording? Cording. Or what color? I don't know what cording is. Explain to me what color. Sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. So the rope is macrame rope. The rope is the macrame rope. So this is it's macrame. So if you Google macrame rope, you'll see it. You're welcome. Sorry, sometimes I don't know what the words are, so I appreciate you guys letting me know. I appreciate it. So now what we're going to do is you're going to take, you remember how I said we sewed down the middle of it? Now we're going to take, you have that opening, now you're going to take that opening and you're just going to put that opening right around that rope. And then you're going to stitch. You're going to let it pull. You're going to let that feed dog pull that rope all the way around. And we're going to sew that, so. There. I had to get my husband to tighten that up today because it's a little... And this is going to be cool because this is going to change colors here. So we're going to let it, so you want to make sure that you kind of have the center of the hoop on the edge of that fabric there. That way it's grabbing both of them there. And then like I said, it's just pulling, the feed dogs are just pulling that around, so. I'm gonna trim that off there. And then that way it can just start going around. So it'll just keep pulling around and then we'll just get big enough for a placemat here. We are making a placemat this morning. So we did is we did the center of it with rope. It was with macrame rope. And now we're adding the fabric rope to the edges of it here, guys. The fabric rope to the edges of it. You see how it just pulls? It just pulls right around there, guys. And I'm not pulling it. I'm letting the feed dog pull. If you push or pull on it, it'll change that stitch and it just won't work as well. So you just let it pull around. This is where it gets fun because that fabric's changing there. This is going to be cool. This one's going to be cool, guys. And this is where that wider stitch comes into play, especially with the fabric. That way it's grabbing both pieces of fabric. And you can use these as, I mean, you could use them as trivets. I mean, you can use them as placemats. You can use them as coasters. You can use them, I mean, pretty much anything you want. I mean, the ideas are endless when you start adding different fabrics there. So, oh, this is cool. Here comes the pink, guys. Here comes the pink. Here comes the pink on here. Thank you guys for the follows. I appreciate the follows. So we're gonna, here comes that pink, and we'll stop here in a minute. That way you guys can see when you're going around. This is where it gets fun. This is where it gets fun when you start adding the different colors. Like I said, I showed you earlier how to get the strips sewed together fairly quickly. Then we added the batting into it and actually made the fabric rope. And now we're just letting the machine pull, guys. All this hand is over on the other side is just to keep it in line. Just to keep it in line there, guys. We're letting it pull, so let me stop, cut this off, and that way you guys can kind of see. That way you can see here. So, I said, we added the macrame rope to the middle. Made kind of a, you know, that way it's circle. It's the easiest way to make a circle. This is my opinion. My opinion. Everybody does it differently, but I use that one as the circle for the center of it. And then you add that rope. Is that not turning out cool? And y'all, you can do bowls too. We can do bowls too. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll make a bowl too. So we'll do this one as a placemat. Isn't that gorgeous? It just turns out so gorgeous. It's like, wow, right? Isn't that fun? So what we'll do is we'll get going a little bit further. That way it's big enough for a placemat. And then we'll make a bowl. Let's do a bowl. You guys want to do a bowl too? Right? All right. So let's go ahead and finish this up. We'll get this finished. Thank you for the follows. Yeah, the pink just made it pop. It just made it completely pop. So we'll get this one finished, stitched up, because it'll stitch up fairly quickly here. And then we'll do a bowl. We'll make a bowl. Because I think the bowl will be cute. So we'll get this all stitched up. And this will be a fun Halloween theme placemat. Or you could use it as a trivet. It'd be a fun centerpiece to put like your bowl of candy on. You got a bowl of candy sitting in the center of your table and you want something to set that bowl of candy on, you just set it on this. That would be kind of cool, right? Makes it kind of cool. So what we'll do, like I said, we'll go around this a couple more times. That way it's big enough to be for a placemat. And then we'll do a bowl. Then we'll start and we will do a pink bowl. I'm liking this color, the pink. I love pink, guys. I love pink. Pink is pink, purple, I don't know. I like the colors. But you see how it just pulls it across? Your feed dog is just pulling it right across. And you let that pull. And it just keeps adding to it there, guys. Just keeps adding to it. Appreciate y'all joining this morning. It's a fun morning. It is Friday morning, y'all. It is Friday morning. How fun is that? Friday morning is cool. You gotta love Friday mornings. Try and decide how big to go here, guys. How big do we go? I'm almost thinking we turn this into, because I'm excited to do a bowl. I want to do the bowl. Yeah, TGIF, right? TGIF, guys. All right, we're gonna go a couple more times around here and then we're gonna go and move on to making a bowl. That way we can do that process again. Because I want you guys to feel comfortable and be able to do this. So we'll get a couple more rounds here. The different colors, when you have different colors on here, it makes it kind of cool. Kind of cool, guys. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thank you so much for the follows. So we have that. Let's go 2 more times. We'll go 2 more times around here. Once we go 2 more times around here, we're going to move on and finish this off, and we will do a bowl. The bowl could be used for candy. That would be kind of cool, right? All right, here we go. I think we're gonna stop with these hats. These are fun hats. I think what we're gonna do is we're going to stop with the hats. So everybody does the ending of the of their thing a little differently, but I'm going to show you guys what I do on the end of mine. Like I said, everybody's a little different, but I take and use, where have I got it? So I use, it's called pleather. I think it's pleather is what it's called. Looks like leather, but it's actually, but what I do is I take a strip of this. And I end it with this. And I have all kinds of different colors. I used to use it for, let's see here. Go this way. I used it for making keychains, all kinds of different keychains. But it works good to end. That way you don't have that raw edge of the fabric there. So I just sew across that side, sew across, and I'll show you guys here. All right. How cool is that? How cool is that? Let me trim this off. Okay, so that's kind of what I end it with. It works. Is that not cool? Needs pressed, but that's okay. Isn't that cool? It's a pink Halloween. So let's do a bowl, guys. Let's do a bowl. So I have, the needle I use is actually a jean needle. So the jean needle is, because it's a little bit stronger needle, so that's the needle I use, so. All right, so let's go to the bowl. Okay, we're gonna do the bowl. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take that rope again. You are welcome, you are welcome. Please ask questions. If I don't see it, I apologize. I'll try and answer if I can. I'm trying to see why I don't want to take, I don't want to play with it too much because it'll end up coming off, but I gotta have my husband fix that, so. So let me show you the stitch. Yes, the stitch is definitely a big thing. So that stitch, let me flip you around. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thanks for the follows. Let me flip this camera around. So I'm on a Luminaire 2. I also have a Husqvarna that has that same stitch. Miss Abby that's on here with us was using the same stitch on the machine over there. But it's this 3-18. It's like a rail fence, kind of. So, and then I take that stitch and I increase it to 7 millimeters. You want to make sure you increase that stitch to as wide as you can get it. So 7 millimeters is as wide as you'll get it on here. That way you have that wider stitch that goes and grabs both pieces of fabrics as you're sewing across. So, and you have that center line there. That center line is actually the center of your foot. So on the center of your foot, you're going to actually line the edge of your fabric up. And I'll show you guys here in a minute. You're going to line the edge of that fabric up in the middle of that. That way it's grabbing both sides of that. So, hold on, a puzzle piece is coming my way. Let me get rid of that puzzle piece. Okay, puzzle piece is done. Okay, so yeah, like I said, that is the stitch. You can use that 3-19 also, or even the 3-17. Either one of those stitches works really well. But 3-18 has been my go-to because it works really well. It works really well on there. So let me flip you back around here, guys. So I'm going to show you guys again how to start this center, Because like I said, we're going to do a bowl now. We're going to do a bowl now. So scared that's going to fall off there, and I don't know what to do. Stay on there for the live, please. Stay on there. All right, cool. All right, Amy. All right, so what we're going to do is you're going to take this rope, and this is macrame rope. You can use macrame rope. You can use clothesline rope. Y'all run to Walmart, go back in the back where they have like, what do you call it? Like tools and stuff. You'll find clothesline rope. It's a couple dollars. You can make a bowl for a couple bucks. Works out really well. I wanted some different colors. All right, Miss Abby. Thank you for joining, Miss Abby. You have a good day. Maybe give me a holler this weekend. We'll FaceTime or something. All right. So I like the colored ropes. You can dye the ropes or whatever, but we're going to use pink. So what we're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to make a circle in the middle. So we're going to make this circle in the middle. Because what we're going to do on that circle, hot flash, woo, you're going to take this circle in the middle. And this is where you want to make sure that you pay attention to what you do. So you have your circle in the middle, but you want to make sure when you put it in the machine that it's pulling this way, because when you get it right there in the machine, you want to make sure, because it's going to start pulling this way with those feed dogs, and the feed dog's going to actually pull it, because if you pull it back the other way, when it pulls, it's going to pull opposite, and it's not going to pull that rope in. So you want to make sure that you put it in there this way. That way when it's going, it's pulling to the back of the machine towards the feed dog. So let's go ahead and get this in there. And I will show you guys. So I'm going to get this in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew across, sew across, sew across. Just get that center stitched. Get that center stitched there. So we're going to put this in the middle there. You got to watch your fingers when you're doing this one. So we'll sew across that way, kind of pull it across. And then we'll come back this way. Then we're going to come back this way. Like I said, you just want to sew across there just a few times. That way you get the center stitched. And then you can start going in your circle there. Kind of just let, you see I'm just holding it on this side. Just let those feed dogs pull it, because it'll actually pull it around and it'll create that circle for you. I need to sew one more time across there. Okay. So now we're going to start going in that circle. So like I said, it'll start pulling it that way. And literally you're just going to have this hand over here and letting it pull. You're just going to let it pull. I mean, you could literally just put your finger down and let it pull around. So we're going to get a circle here. Like I said, this is the easiest way I found to get started with the fabric rope, because trying to create a circle with a fabric rope I was having issues with, so I just started doing this. So we're gonna get going here on this circle. We'll go around a few times, probably a few more times here, and then we will add the fabric and we'll start going up. Those bowls are fun, guys, and you can use them for so many different things. I'm thinking this one will be a candy bowl. Do you use a full pack of Jelly Roll strips? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll just go grab, because it only takes a few strips to make a rope bowl. So you could go grab like 4 strips, depending on how big of a bowl you're using. Just grab whatever 4 strips you want. Make up those 4 strips, and then you should be good, because it only takes a couple. It only takes a couple of them. It goes a lot, it goes pretty far. It'll go pretty far on there, so. So we're gonna make this just big enough to get that centered in there, because it makes a cool coordinating thing on the bottom of it, and this pink really coordinates really well with that. So I got a few different colors that I like to use on there, so works out really well. Okay, so we're gonna go a couple more times around. Did you guys have questions? Needle and stitch size. You were the only one that actually explained the process of making these. Oh, well, I'm glad I can help. I am really glad I can help. Like I said, ask me anything. And if we are making a rope bowl now, we just made a placemat. But what we're doing is we're taking the macrame, putting it in the middle. This is macrame rope, and then here in a minute, I'm going to go a couple more times around. We are going to be adding the fabric rope to it. I am using a Brother Luminaire 2, but you can do this on any machine. As long as any machine has, a lot of people use a zigzag stitch. I will show you guys again what stitch I am using. This stitch is phenomenal. It seems to work best for me because it, like I said, it has that one stitch that goes down the middle, and then you know that you're grabbing both sides of it. So, okay, so I think we're good there. So we're gonna cut this off. So like I said, we're going to, thanks for the follow, Laura. So I'm gonna cut this off here. So we've got the centerpiece. Isn't it fun what you can make with rope? It just makes it so cool. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thanks for the follows. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add that fabric rope. You know, how fun is that? How fun is that? So, like I said, we just did this one. We just did the placemat. The placemat turned out really cool. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do a rope. Do you know when to use how do you know when to use so to use the different stitch, you want to, so let's see. When you're doing the rope, when you're sewing the rope together, and let me show you guys that stitch again. Let me show you guys that stitch again. So when you're sewing like the strips together or whatever, you got that straight stitch. On the rope, you want to make sure that you use this is my go-to stitch, guys. This is my go-to stitch on here. So that one, so 3-18, that is the stitch. But 317, 318, 319, any stitch that kind of looks like that, you can totally use. But that 3-18 is the one that I like to use. I increased the width of that stitch up to 7 millimeters on there. So you want to make sure that you use a wider stitch. The wider stitch you can use, the better it is. So this is a Luminaire 2. This is a Luminaire 2. So, but a lot of your machines allow you to increase the size of that. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. So you'll see that there is like a center stitch that goes down there. That's at the center of your foot. And then you have where each side, you want to make sure each side is going and crossing over. And you'll see on here, let me flip it over here. You can kind of see on here, you see the pink stitching on here? Let me get it in the light. You can see the pink stitching on there where it is going and grabbing both sides of that. It goes and grabs both sides of that. So let's go ahead and flip this around. So I'm going to show you guys now. So we did the rope in the middle. So that was macrame rope on there. And then with the macrame rope, we made this rope earlier. We'll do this again maybe next week. We'll do it again maybe next week. That way you guys can see it again. So we did the macrame. So this is the center. This is the center on here, guys. We're going to add this. We're going to add fabric rope to this. So we're going to take and add, and this, so you see how you have the opening there. When we made the rope, we just stitched right down the middle. And you're sitting there thinking, why are we stitching down the middle? You're leaving it open. There's a reason we leave it open. So we have this open here. When you have that opening there, you're just going to put it right over that rope. You're going to have it right over that rope, and this is the center of your foot is going to go right on the edge of this fabric. And with the center of the foot going right on the edge, it's going to go and grab both sides of the fabric. That way it stitches it together. So you got to make sure that you grab that. And again, make sure that you're pulling this way, because your feed dog is going to pull this way. Because when you load it into your machine and the feed dog pulls, it goes and makes a circle. If you have it this way and it's pulling, it's not going to pull that fabric up. So you want to make sure that you load it in there so it's pulling up that fabric, okay? So we're going to get loaded back in here again. So we're going to start there. Like I said, you want to have the center of the foot right there. And you don't want to push or pull on your fabric. Let the feed dog push and pull it. Just let that feed dog push and pull it for you. And it just stitches it right on there for you. And you'll see as we get to the next area, or the next color of fabric. And I'm not pulling on this, I'm not pushing on this. Those feed dogs on your machine is doing the work for you. Your machine will do the work for you. So we're going to get here, we're going to make sure that we're getting right in there. That way it closes that hole up for you. And so now it's just going to come across, and we're going to start going this way. What all do I make? Everything. I make everything. There's probably no end to what I'll make. If somebody asks me if I can make something, I'm like, sure, why not? Let me figure it out. So I make quilts. I love to make quilts. I make microwave bowl koozies. We did microwave bowl koozies this week. I make bags. I make zipper bags. Pretty much, we did painted canvases. I quilted painted canvases. That was fun. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. As a reminder, if you guys are new to me, I am on Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning, Arizona time. So it is currently 5:47 here, just as a note. So we'll be back Monday morning having some fun, y'all. Thank you for the follows, guys. Thank you for the follows. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, and I'm gonna go one more time around, because this is gonna be a bowl, guys. So I'm gonna go one more time around here. After I get going around one more time, we're gonna start lifting up. So in order to create it as a bowl, you gotta lift it up. So let me get this one more time, and I'll show you what I mean by lifting up. Because I know that was confusing for me when I first started this. Good morning, good morning. When I first started doing this, I was like, how do I get it to curve up? I don't understand how it's gonna curve up. I'm gonna show you guys how to get this to curve up. So we're going up one more time here. And I'm gonna show you guys something. I wanna show you, I'm gonna take you off here a minute, because I wanna show you, because that stitch is, let me flip this around. Let me ask a question. With that machine you have, can you do stuff making puppy and dog stuff? Absolutely, absolutely. It'll make anything. It'll make anything for you. Okay, so you see that stitch? You see how it's going? So you see that there's like a line down the middle here, and then it's going and grabbing both sides. It grabs both sides of that fabric. So there's the stitch again. I want to make sure that you guys see the stitch. So the 318, and it doesn't have to be exactly that stitch. Like, all three of those stitches right there would work wondrous. That's 17, 18, 19. But if you don't have the possibility of having that stitch, you can use a zigzag stitch. A zigzag stitch will work really well too. So, but this one just works just that much better. So, like I said, everybody kind of does it differently. So, okay. So now we've got the bottom of the bowl. So what we're going to do is we want it to start curving up. In order to make it start curving up, y'all, you pick up that. You're going to just pick this up and hold it up to the side of your machine there. for the Brother 600, it's stitch 3-10. So yeah, you just got to look at your thing. And I had posted a video on my thing where you can see the choice of the stitch on there too. So, all right, so hold this up here, and it'll start curving. We're gonna make it start curving up into a bowl, y'all. So we're gonna just hold this side up. And like I said, let the machine pull the fabric. Let that machine pull that fabric. You don't want to push on that fabric or pull on that fabric. Just let it push, or let those feed dog pull it itself. So we're going to pull this here, and y'all are going to see it create a bowl here. You're going to see it create a bowl here. So it's going to start curving. If I miss your comments, I apologize. So here we go, guys. It is starting to curve up. How cool is this? This is just the coolest process. Like I said, I like to do the macrame rope in the middle of it. That way it gives it kind of a pretty little bottom there. And then we add the fabric rope, and it starts curving up. It starts curving up, guys. This just makes it really cool. So going up a little bit, and I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to cut this off here, and I'm going to show you. Good morning, Miss Nikki. Good morning. All right, guys, look, it's turning into a bowl. It's turning into a bowl. So we're gonna get it going up just a little bit bigger, so that way we can have as big a bowl as you want. I mean, you just keep going until you want to stop. So, but how cool is that? We're gonna keep going just a little bit bigger. We're gonna go a little bit bigger here, guys. Just as a reminder, you just hold it up, and when you hold it, I don't ask me how it works, but somehow or another it makes it curve into that bowl. Right? We're going to keep going around. We'll probably go around a few more times here, make it a little bit bigger. I like it when it changes from color to color. That way it just gives it just that much of a, you know, that kind of accent. Or I don't even know what the word is for it, but it makes it look cool. How about that? It makes it look cool. So now we're going to pink with the orange pumpkins. How cool is that? This one's turning out really cool, guys. Really, really cool. I can do a tutorial. Maybe I'll do a tutorial. I will be going over this. I'm thinking we'll do this again next week. Fridays are my rope day, guys. Like I said, I am on Monday through Friday. And on Fridays are always rope day. We always do something on ropes for Fridays. So, but I could probably post a tutorial on this. That way we can have it on the page. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the follows, guys. I need to go back because if you missed part of it, see, I was looking at your guys' question and I totally missed part of it. So let me show you something. I'm going to show you something right quick. I want to show you guys where you line this up. I am on Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning, Arizona time. So it is currently 5:54 here. So wherever you're located, I think because Arizona don't change time, so I don't ever pay attention to anything. So half the year we're on Mountain Standard Time, half the year we're on Pacific Time, I believe. So I think we're on Mountain Standard Time right now, aren't we, Nikki? So I want to show you guys something. So I want to show you guys where you line your foot up. So again, I'm using this stitch on here, which is a 3-18. Any stitch kind of like that is what you want to look for. I increase the width of that stitch to 7 millimeters. When you're lining it up, you see how my foot is literally right in the middle of it. So you have that one stitch that's coming down the middle. So it's going to come down the middle, and then on each side, it's going to go and grab that fabric on both sides. Okay. So yeah, Monday through Friday. Your live reached. Oh, wow, that is cool. Well, welcome from Delaware. Again, and my name is Carrie. My name is Carrie. I know it says Chickadee Treasures, but my name is Carrie, so. Oh, you're very welcome. You are very welcome. And if you have questions, ask me. I'm always willing to help you guys out. Always willing to help you guys out. So we're going to go a few more. Kansas City, Missouri. Very cool. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so we're going to go, and we're going to make it just a little bit bigger here, guys. I'm really liking this color coordination on here. The color coordination on here is turning out really cool. So I'm thinking, so Monday's live, we got a couple ideas. Cynthia's helping me come up with ideas, so thank you, Cynthia. So I'm thinking on Monday, we found a, you know those bowl covers, like you have casserole dishes or something like that, and you need a cover for those bowls? I'm thinking we're going to make some covers for those bowls on Monday, I think. I don't know. Depends on what I come up with this weekend. I try to come up with something new every day, and after we get done with this bowl, I'm going to show you guys what we accomplished this week. We accomplished quite a bit this week. We had a lot of fun this week. We learned how to quilt in the hoop. Sometimes you got to go back over it again. We learned how to quilt in the hoop, even with a 4-inch hoop. Even with a 4-inch hoop, you can quilt in the hoop. So I showed you guys how to do that. So that worked out really well. So next week we have another quilt we need to quilt. So on Wednesday of next week, just so you guys know, we will be doing that quilting in the hoop again. If you guys want to learn how to quilt in the hoop with your embroidery machine, even if you've got a 4-inch hoop, you can quilt in the hoop, y'all. I promise you. We did a live the other day on quilting in the hoop, and it worked out really well. I showed you guys how to make that template, how to use that 4-inch hoop to quilt in that hoop. So we're going to go just a little bit bigger here, and then like I said, I'm going to go over and show what we've done this week. So I'm thinking we're going to end with, we're going to see how big we're going to go. The next one, we may end with that next one here. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate it, guys. All right. So I'm thinking we're gonna go one more strip here. These are small strips in here. So these are small strips that I have. So we're gonna go a little bit further. And I'm going to show you guys how to end off this bowl. Like I said, let your machine pull. Let your machine pull that fabric through. Because those feed dogs are very strong. So, and it'll just pull your fabric through. Because if you push or pull, it ends up messing up with the stitch. And it makes that stitch not as strong, so you don't want to mess with that one. So I'm thinking we're going to end with pink, guys. I think we're going to end with pink. We're going to finish this white one and go to the pink, and then it will be good. I like pink, so we're going to end with that pink. And then I'll show you guys how we end it. Everybody ends it a little different. There is no right or wrong way. It's whatever you like. I will show you. I'll show you how we did that. Because I have one that we started. I had showed at the beginning of the live, we did, I showed you guys how to sew strips together really quickly. And then I also showed you, we're going to stop there. I'm going to cut that off. So what I'm going to do is I'll sew this to the end, and I'm going to show you guys how we end this. Oh my gosh, this is the coolest bowl, guys. This is the coolest bowl. Isn't that awesome? And look, the bottom is cool too. So, I will show you, as soon as we move over to the cutting table, I'll show you. So, I have this stuff, it's called pleather. It's cheap leather, is what you call it. But what you do, I have all kinds of different colors. You can get like, what do you call them, 4x10 sheets, fairly cheap. So, I have all different colors. But what I do is I take on the end, and I take and put this here, and I just stitch over that, and it makes the end. It works out really well. It works out really well. So let me add this right quick. We're gonna sew this on here, and we'll move over to the cutting table, and I'll kind of explain some of the process again so you guys can see it. And then we'll go over, and I'll show you what all we made this week. We had some fun this week, guys. We had lots of fun. Okay, so let me go back here. So like I said, we're gonna sew across, because this just is going right over where that edge is at, and you kind of center it on there. That way both sides is kind of centered there. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and we're going to stitch this across. And then turn it this way, stitch up it. That way you can stitch up both sides. And then grab this side. Stitch up that side. Okay. All right. Trim off the threads. You got to trim the threads off. Okay. We will go over to the cutting table, and I will show you guys. And we'll take, we're going to take my, whoops. I'm turning in circles here. All right. So let me put, good morning. Let me put you guys there, and I'm going to show you guys this process again. I'm going to just walk you through it. Not on the sewing machine, but I'm going to walk you through it. Hold on. Okay. So, let's you over there. So, first one, here's the bowl we just did, guys. How cool is that? How cool is that? You guys literally just watched this bowl being made. And see how I end it? That's how I end it. Is it right or wrong? No. Everybody ends it differently. Everybody ends it. Good morning from Louisiana. Good morning from Louisiana. Very cool. Isn't that cool? It is so fun. It just makes it fun. Like I said, if you use like different colors of fabrics as it goes around, it just makes it so cool. And how cool of a candy bowl would this be for Halloween? How cool of a candy bowl for Halloween, right? I do not remember. I've had it for years. I've had it for years. So I've been quilting for, gosh, I'm now 51 years old. So 40 years. So I have a stash of fabric that I keep. I try not to buy new fabric. So I keep going and getting different fabrics. So, but lots of fun. But I'm sure you could Google Halloween strips. Google Halloween strips. They're kind of fun. They are kind of fun. So we did that one. Then we did a placemat. It could be a placemat, a trivet, whatever you work, because it's pretty sturdy. You could put your hot pad or hot bowls, hot pans, whatever on there. So it turned out really cool too. So this is what we did. So let me explain. I'm gonna kind of explain how we did this. So we had, let me come down here. So we had strips. So what we did is we took strips. We took strips. I sewed those strips together. We took and sewed strips together on there. Okay, we just literally sewed them together. Then we took and go up here. That way you guys can see. Then you have this handy dandy little green tool. It's a jelly roll tool. Just Google jelly roll tool. I don't know the exact name for it, but they have it on Amazon. You can get it fairly cheap. Anyways, so you took and put that in there, and then you pulled it down, because what you did is you have your 2.5-inch strip back here. This is a 2-inch fabric roll or batting. Bias tape maker. Thank you. The batting, and then you put that with that, and then you kind of fold over both sides when you put it through there, and then when you're pulling it down, it pulls it over. And then what you did is you folded it over, and you sewed right down the middle of it. You folded it over and sewed right down the middle of it. So that made it where you get your fabric rope, and it works out really well. But you want to sew right down the middle of it, just a straight stitch right down the middle. That way you have that opening. And then on the opening, we went and added it. We're gonna use use one of my coasters. We're gonna use one of my coasters as an example. So you take that rope that you just made in the middle, and then you're going to take that fabric rope and you're going to put it right there to the side, and then you're going to start stitching and let that machine pull it. Remember, you want to put it in there where it's pulling it that way, because if you flip it around and go the other way, and this is over here, and as it's pulling, it's not pulling that fabric rope up. So you want to make sure that it's on this side. When you set it in your machine like this, that way it's pulling this way. And you guys are probably opposite of me, but I think you get the gist of it. So you're going to make sure that it's pulling that way. So then it'll come across. And then as you're going around, if you want it flat, you just keep going around. No? Why are you saying no? Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. So as you're going around that way, you do that. But if you want to go onto a bowl, because like I said, we did a placemat, and then we did a bowl. If you want it as a placemat, you just keep letting it go in a circle. Just keep it letting it go in a circle for however big you want it. If you want it to go in a bowl, as you go around, you get it as big as you want it, and then you lift it up. You lift it up onto the side of your sewing machine. As you lift it up into the side of your sewing machine, you let it keep going around, and then it creates that bowl. How fun is that, guys? How fun is that? This has been fun. So I'm going to share with you guys. We've had some fun this week. We've had lots of fun this week, guys. Yeah. So it's one of those, as you're watching, you're like, I don't understand. And then the more you do it, you are very welcome. You are very welcome. I try to make it as easy as possible for you to understand. So sometimes if you physically watch it, and then you actually just talk it out to yourself. You're like, okay, I know I can do this. I know I can do this. And I'm like going this way, you know, but if you have questions, ping me. Just ping me. Give me a follow. Give me a ping. Say, hey, Carrie, can you explain that to me again? Or if you have a question, you're like, hey, when I got to this step, can you explain how we did that? Also, so you don't have a tab on the top of the bowl, you can cut a long triangle inward to make, oh, good idea. Good idea. See, hey, all y'all help too. That is a phenomenal idea. A triangle inward to make flat. Triangle inward, that, hey, absolutely. Good idea. Very cool. Yeah, I take tips. My new sewing bag. Oh, Well, thank you. I love you guys. All you guys, I love having all y'all on here every morning. Like I said, I'm on Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning, y'all. This is my my stress relief. So I'm a director of IT by day. I run an IT department, guys. So I got to have some kind of stress relief. This is it. So I love to sew. I've sewn for years. I have sewn for years, and this is what I love to do. So I love doing this. So let me give you guys, thank you, Amy. Thank you. Let me show you guys what we've done this week. I want to share what I would like to suggest a thread catcher project. Okay, absolutely. Let me write that down. Like I said, if you guys have something you want me to do, we can do that. We can make a thread catcher. Those are fun to do. Those are like fun to do. So let me add that on there. We will do that one. Thread catcher. Okay. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. Same, I work from home for Chase Bank with sewing in my... Yay! Awesome! Hey, right? Sewing is my yoga too. Sewing is my stress relief, y'all. Like I said, I've been sewing for years. I have been sewing for years. So, all right. Let me show you what we've done this week. I want to share what we've done this week because I am very proud of what we've done this week. So, I am going to get out. Ow, that was my foot. So, like I said, on Monday, we had another rope day on Monday. So on Monday, we did another rope project. So on Monday, this is the rope bowl we did on Monday. Working on my English paper, piecing 5-point star. Oh, how cool is that? How cool is that? So this is the rope bowl we did on Monday. We added fabric to the middle of it. We added fabric to the middle of it. And we added, and this is a camo rope. This is a camo rope. So actually got this at Harbor Freight, I believe. So y'all, you can get rope wherever. You can get rope wherever. So this is what we did on Monday. So we made that one, and we made, there was a coordinating, where you at? We made a little coaster to go with it. A little coaster to go that, yeah. If your husband ever goes to Harbor Freight, go with him. Go with him. You can find all kinds of cool stuff at Harbor Freight, y'all. There's like a laser that you can put on your, if your machine doesn't have like a straight line laser, they have a laser there for $4.95, I think is what it was. I put it on my mom's machine, but you can put it on your machine and it gives you that straight line laser on your machine. Harbor Freight, y'all. Yeah, right? There's all kinds of things at Harbor Freight. So, made this one along with this. So that was our Monday. That was our Monday. Tuesday, what did we do Tuesday? Tuesday, I think we quilted a quilt. Tuesday, we did, so I had this quilt. So we did quilting this quilt on Tuesday. And y'all, we still got to bind it. We still have to bind it. But you look, there's music notes. There's music notes in here. Thank you. Isn't that fun? You love the Golden Girls, right? So this has got music notes quilted into this. So we did this one this week. So this got quilted this week. Turned out very pretty. There's flannel on the back. So we had that one. And then we did quilting. I showed you guys how to make how to do quilting in the hoop with your 4-inch hoops. So you had your 4-inch hoop I showed you how to do, and then we did a 4-inch and then a 5x7. And when we did that, I took that fabric that we quilted and we made binding. I showed you guys how to do binding. And we're going to do this again next Wednesday, guys, just so you know. We'll do this again next Wednesday. I'm going to do it again Wednesday, Kendra. I want to go over that process for you guys again. So I'm going to show you guys how to quilt in the hoop. So I'm going to show you how to quilt in the hoop if you have a projector on your machine. And I'm going to show you how to quilt in the hoop if you don't have a projector on. Yeah. Okay, next Wednesday for binding, we'll probably do binding on Thursday. We'll probably do binding Thursday next week. So we'll quilt. We're going to do quilting again on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we'll do binding. Yeah, we'll do binding Thursday. So, but I showed you guys how to easily do binding, setting an alarm. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Fun, fun. So, yeah, so Wednesday we will show you again how to quilt in the hoop. That was fun. That was fun, like I said. And then you can do small projects and make pot holders. So that all the quilting we did, we made pot holders. You have a good day too. You have a good day too. So then we made, we moved on to making microwave bowl koozies, guys. Microwave bowl koozies are fun. Microwave bowl koozies are fun. It has been a fun week, has it not? It has been, and yesterday, y'all, how much fun was yesterday? So I had a request to show how to make microwave bowl koozies. So we took microwave bowl koozies. I had a template. I have a template that's cut out that has, and my template cuts out the pleats for you. So it cuts the pleats out for you. So I showed you guys how to do the pleats. And then I showed you how to do it with just a 10-inch square. And then I showed you how to do it on a serger. Then I showed you guys how to do it on a serger. So that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, guys. So, right? Are they not fun? So I am posting these. I will be posting these up on my website. So if anybody wants to microwave bowl koozies. So lots of fun. Lots of fun. Then we've had so much fun. I can't remember everything we did. Last week we had a zipper day last week. We had fun with zippers last week. So I actually made my own quilt squares. And I think I'm going to do a day of that. If you guys want, I want to show you guys how to make quilt squares. I want to show you guys how to make quilt squares out of scraps, pieces of fabric. So I just took scraps of fabric, made a square big enough that I wanted, and then turned it into a zipper bag. Turned it into a zipper bag. Do I post my lives? I do. So I don't know if I can post. Can I post my whole live? I don't know if that's possible. I can try. I can try and post the whole live and see what it does. That way you guys can go back and watch the live. I know I post portions of the live. Maybe I'll try not here. Gotcha. Okay. I could possibly, I don't know. I know you can on YT, so you can do it there. So I don't know. We'll see. I will definitely do that. I will download this one. I have a YT channel. If you guys click on my link, you can go see that I have a YT channel and an FB page. So you guys can check out both. I will download this one and get it posted on both of those for you, okay? That way you can see it. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, go give me a follow. Like I said, I will download, I will see if I can download this whole one today. And then, because today's been a good day. I cannot believe how cool this turned out. How cool this one turned out. I'm in love with the color different ones. So, but thank you guys so much for the follows. I greatly appreciate the follows. So Monday I have a request for Monday. We may do a few different things Monday, but the request for Monday is, have you guys seen the bowls? So you take your casserole bowl or salad bowl, and then you put the top on there. How hard would it be to add handles to the bowl? I don't know. We can try it. We can try and add handles to the bowl. Tell you what, next Friday, let's add that for next Friday. I'm going to put a note. We're going to do handles on a bowl. We're going to make a bowl and add handles. That'll be next Friday's live. How about that? I always like to add new projects. So we're going to do handles. So next Friday will be bowl with handles. I don't think it'll be too hard. I'm thinking we use rope, because you have the fabric, because we could do the fabric and then we use rope for the handles. Make the handle and then add it to it. So I think we can do it. I think we can do it. I got an idea. So, all right, coolness. Thanks for the idea. I always like new ideas. Thanks for the idea. So we will do that. I'll add that for next Friday. There we go. See, we already have our next week planned out. We got our next week planned out. And we said Thursday is binding. Thursday, I may have to put my schedule up so you guys can see. Thursday's binding. Wednesday is quilting. Maybe I'll put my schedule up and tag it. That way you guys can see what my schedule is for the week. So come hang out with me. Come hang out. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. It'll be fun. I am glad you found me too. I'm glad you found me too. All you guys. You guys are all awesome. And I really appreciate everybody hanging out with me. It is lots of fun. Got to make a bowl with handles this weekend. Right, Cynthia? We got to try it out. We're going to have to try it. So... yes, it was fun. It's been a fun morning. I'm excited. I'm excited that all of you guys have found me and you like to hang out and you like to sew. It's always fun with sewing. And like I said, if you have an idea you want me to make, let me know. Let me know. And maybe we'll do that thread catcher on Tuesday. Maybe, because I don't think I have anything planned for Tuesday. So maybe Tuesday will be a thread catcher. How about that? You guys want to do thread catcher on Tuesday? We could do that. And depending on how much time we have, we may throw a few other things in there. Who knows, right? Who knows? You're afraid you're... let me help you out. Yeah, hang out with me. Hang out with me. Like I said, I try to make it as simple as possible because I don't like... oh, Liz, please, you know, come back and see us. I am on, like I said, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning, Arizona time. It is currently almost 6:30 here. So, come hang out. Like I said, I'm going to try. So, I've got a request to see if we can download this video. So I'm going to see if I can get it downloaded and then I will post it on my YT page and my FB page. So that way we can, hopefully get it there. If I can get it there, I'll let you know. So hopefully. So if you guys go give those a follow, you should see it pop up on there. You should see it pop up on there. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. So it's 9:20 by you. So you are, so you're 2 hours ahead of me. So 2 hours ahead of me. So, alrighty. Well, it's about time to let you guys go for the day. Thank you again. Again, we had fun day, guys. You're East Coast. So fun day. This worked out really well. Check this out. It's like, hey, it just sits right there. So like I said, I got to press it, but once we get it pressed, it'll be good. You have a good weekend too, Miss Nikki. We are walking Monday, Miss Nikki. We're walking on Monday. We are walking Monday. So, all right, again, my name is Carrie. See you guys again Monday morning, 4:30 a.m. Arizona time. Thanks again for the fun rope day. We will have again fun day again next week. All right. Love you guys.